Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 of Orange versus CLG. This is a playoff match for the Pro Dota 2 Worldwide League. And by the way, guys, if you don't know, there's a lot of prize money on the line. $20,000 to the first place team. Or no, that's the total prize pool. A little bit less. I think it's $10,000 goes to first place, but pretty solid chunk of change, especially for an online event. To whoever can actually bring the gold medal home. I am LD of dotacommentaries.com. Joining me is the long-lost legend himself, Nebula. Game
man,
one was
20K is the prize pool, really?
Yeah, it's good, man. It's pretty legit.
Holy smokes, that's big time cash online.
Yeah, and well, I mean, this tournament, it's had some scheduling issues. It's been going on for a while, but the matches for the most part have been great. And well, with the playoffs heating up, sort of a sneak peek of what's coming your way too with the Beyond the Summit World Tour, where we're gonna have some fantastic international playoff matches as well. But either way, game number 1. I mean, pajkatt just got out of hand. I actually don't think the Morphling was the problem. I don't even think pajkatt, not that he played poorly by any means. I don't think it was pajkatt just playing out of his mind. It was much more Orange just choosing to give him farm and then making a lot of questionable decisions tower diving. So to me, if they sort of adjust their gameplay, play more coordinated, or do something to try and slow down pajkatt early on in terms of the lanes, that could help them out a bit. But what are your thoughts? What should we expect to see out of here from Orange?
I would give MVP the last game, actually, to akke. He was kind of Johnny on the spot everywhere. Now, Mirakel played very well as Venomancer, but akke at the end of the game, I believe he was 5-0 and 10. Like, he never died with Shin. He was there to stop every push. He saved so many people so many times in battles with just hands of gods and heals. And he placed them so well. He didn't, like, use them overzealously. He waited until they were going to have maximum effect. I think akke was played spectacular. And obviously, Misery hit a number of Sunstrikes early on, and Mirakel roamed very well and really just shut down the TA, but that's kind of what Venomancer can do anyway. But yeah, I actually think pajkatt was probably the least effective. Maybe Lacoste was the least effective. I mean, you get free farm, you're gonna be able to dominate. So pajkatt didn't really have to do too much work. I mean, he's such a good player that you give him that much free farm time and you're screwed. I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest. But yeah, Orange did overextend a lot.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been maybe okay to give him that free farm if your semi carries have a dominant start. And well, they had some openings. They did slow down the Beastmaster. They did kill off the Invoker. They didn't really get any towers early on. And to me, that was the biggest problem, was the fact that even when CLG lost heroes, we saw like 4 or 5 times in a row Orange get a pick off or 2, but they don't turn it into towers. And as long as CLG have those towers, especially with the strong defense spheres, the Chen, the Beastmaster, well, they don't really lose too much ground. They can maintain that map control. Everybody gets a good place to farm. Off the bat, we see Orange pick up an Invoker. Most likely this will be played by kyxy. Does normally play Invoker when he's on when he's active for a game, and well, he is a strong semi-carry player. We didn't see it last game. I will say that was very uncharacteristic of kyxy. He's not, he's not normally a starter for Orange, but he's a very solid player in his own right, and hopefully he'll be able to turn things around. CLG got a classic combination here: Leshrac and SandKing. A lot of burst damage, a lot of initiation potential, and lockdown. We'll have to see where they land.
Yeah, there's still an SD in this pool as well. I mean, if you pick up an SD on top of that, SK, SD, and Leshrac are like a trifecta from hell. It is so hard to win any team battles if those 3 are on your side. Like, or rather, lose any team battles if those 3 are on your side. Like, you literally just dominate nonstop. You have tons of initiation, you have tons of stuns, you have tons of AoE damage, you save for teammates. It's just ridiculous. So, if I were CLG, I'd be trying to grab an SD. But again, I'm not CLG, so
right. We'll it's one of these things where Shadow Demon just makes them a whole lot more painful, but they're already so painful you don't need them. But for Orange, it might make sense to just deny that, because sure, they have Burrow Strike as an initiation, but at the early levels, it's really not a great setup. And the same for Orange too. Getting their hands on a Shadow Demon could be fantastic here with Invoker. We've seen it before. Exhort build got that early Sunstrike access, and the Soul Catcher, the disruption to set it up. A lot of burst damage potential. And that's really what you want against heroes like Leshrac and SandKing. You don't want to let them survive in team fights. You don't want to let Leshrac do that big AoE damage. You don't want SandKing to hit multiple hero burrow strikes in a fight. And here we go. Morphling Earthshaker. Already I like this draft a hell of a lot better for Orange. And we're only 3 picks into it.
Yeah, I actually fully expected them to grab Morphling here with the 2nd or 3rd pick. I wanted to say that, but I was waiting for you. I was hoping that you would finish before the timer ran, but
it's okay. I believe you. I believe you.
I didn't want to do the thing that every co-caster does when they want to feel right. They just shout it, Morphling, Morphling!
If you want to shout, by all means.
Anyway, we have a Morphling being picked up for Orange. I think this is a little bit more. I mean, with this much money on the line, I think this is a fantastic decision. You want to go with what got you here. Orange has made it known that they're very good with Morphling, and last game CLG showed their propensity to pick it up in the second half and really kind of deny it. So Orange just go ahead and don't let them get rid of that hero in any way, and they just grab it, being pretty safe about it here.
I also really like the fact that they have an Earthshaker this game. I felt like last game they never had good initiation. Sure, you have a Templar Assassin who can walk in. They didn't have the lockdown. The only hero who could initiate was Sandcade, and he needs a Blink Dagger to really do that reliably. ES does not. Fissure, even at level 1, great initiation, great defensively as well. And up against CLG's lineup, they will need that defensive firepower. CLG can tower dive like absolute champs, with Leshrac doing the burst damage, Sandcade burrow striking after you, and Queen of Pain blinking. So I do like this draft a lot better for Arn. I also like the fact that they banned out Chen. Sure, CLG could still go for Enchantress, but to me, CLG is one of these teams where when they have Chen, it's a different game entirely, because it gives you not just that jungling option, all the standard things that come with it, the pushing, the ganking, but that strong defensive capability, keeping your hard carry, usually played by pajkatt alive, and it won't be available to them now. So Broodmother gets banned out. What are you expecting to see the rest of the way for these last 4 picks?
Well, CLG already have a really heavy team fight lineup. I mean, they've got 3 massive AoEs going on. I don't think they need a whole lot more in that department. Now, CLG, as we said before, they have a propensity to pick carry heroes, though I'm interested to see whether or not they're going to give SK, if they're just going to duel SK Lesh, or if they're going to have Lesh be more of a support role. I haven't seen how CLG really likes to play their Leshrac. I actually haven't, I can't recall. I know they play Leshrac a lot of times, but I actually can't recall a specific game off the top of my head of what they chose to do with that. So I'm interested there. Knowing the CLG, they're probably going to pick another farmer. I don't really see a pajkatt hero here just yet.
I'm pretty sure at least one of these will be a support, and we saw with Sand King for Orange last game. I think for CLG it's normally the Leshrac, but we'll see. pajkatt has played Leshrac as a primary farmer on the team before, so it's certainly possible, and he's one of these heroes, right, where he can just sort of fit into whatever role you need him to. The one thing I'll say is you want to give at least one of those guys farm. Double hard supports, Leshrac and Sand King, it doesn't usually work out that well. They need levels, they need some farm.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough. If you're doing that, you probably got a tri-lane up top, and you're probably pulling very hard for the SK. Like you can have the Leshrac support up top with a hard carry, and then have like a Windrunner bottom with the SK pulling. That's not fantastic, but SK does get a little bit of gold in that case. And then obviously you very quickly push that top tower on the back of that Leshrac, and you have the initiation on Burrow Strike. So it's not awful, but I doubt that that's what they're going to go for. On the orange side, go ahead. I was going to say on the orange side, they went ahead and banned the Broodmother because obviously having SK on CLG, you don't want to just give the Broodmother to them. I mean, you don't really have a fantastic way to stop it if they've already grabbed that. Banning that's a really wise choice. Lone Druid, a similar situation. I don't think it's. I don't actually think CLG would have picked Syllabear, but he definitely fits very well into this lineup. I think Lone Druid would have just decimated, but I don't think CLG would have grabbed it.
Yeah, well, whenever you pick a Morphling and Invoker, these heroes need a lot of level and a lot of farm, especially for the Morphling. So, to me, banning Lone Druid is just one of these things where you hold on to your towers a little bit longer, you have a better chance of getting to the late game if you ban out those strong pushing heroes, and from that perspective it does make sense. Lone Druid is not a hero CLG runs a lot. And one hero, actually, I don't know if either of these teams run him, but I'm just going to throw it out there randomly because it occurs to me that he's been seeing a lot of play recently. It's Tinker. I have no idea. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen CLG run him. Not saying they don't. I'm sure someone in the chat is going to be correcting me right now. Oh, you idiot. It's something to keep in mind. I mean, it's a strong pressure hero to have for either team.
I am pretty sure Misery is going to be playing Queen of Pain in middle. Which would probably negate the Tinker from being the play. But pajkatt, I believe, does play Tinker. So I would not be surprised to see... Or Misery actually plays Tinker. Yeah, I don't think they're going to pick Tinker because I think Misery's going to play Queen of Pain.
What about... Okay, here's a pick that's actually based on my knowledge of the teams and, you know, not just throwing a hero out there. Dragon Knight. This is a hero CLG has run a lot before.
Yes.
And up against Morphling, great timing push style here. No, they go for a Bounty Hunter. And I'm not sure there's room for another farmer on this team. Maybe there is, but it's going to require that tanking and the Leshrac to be in hard support duty. So in terms of our lanes, I'm normally when this Bounty Hunter is picked up, it's an off-lane Bounty Hunter. And then I guess we'll see a solo Queen of Pain and some sort of tri-lane.
All right. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they do grab DK here. I bet you they put Gondar on bottom. They're going to allow... Yeah, they're going to allow Morphling to free farm. They are going to do the SK pull with Leshrac, and then they're going to have DK up top. That's 3 stuns on the top lane. Any initiation, that hero's dead, and they're going to very quickly get a tower.
And who's going to go solo top for Orange, unless they run a tri-lane of their own, which they could look to do. Earthshaker, Morphling, Shadow Demon is very powerful. But they really don't have another, or an off-lane hero who can handle that. I'm not sure anybody can handle that particular tri-lane solo. But...
Well, there's Windrunner in the pool, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Windrunner picked up and thrown top.
Right. I don't think she's going to do well against that tri-lane, though.
Well, no, and I don't think... Honestly, I think the best way that... If they did pick up DK, I think the best thing Orange could do would actually try and line up their own tri-lane against it. That's very dangerous, and anytime you lose that lane, the game is pretty much over for you. But I think it's the best chance. Now, of course, this is all stipulation upon CLG actually picking DK, which is not a guarantee here. Venomancer, rather. I almost called him Venomous. Anyway, is being picked up here as the 5th here for Orange. So SD being grabbed kind of denies it from CLG on top of being a fantastic hero. And I think, SD does a lot of things here. It denies the combo of the Burrow Strike into the stun from SD or from Leshrac. It allows him to save a lot of heroes from getting just edicted out. It's a really strong ability overall. And Venomancer are going to get a lot of anti-push as well, which I think CLG have kind of screamed that they want to push towers here.
Who is the 3rd farmer right now for Orange? Is it the Venomancer? Is it the Earthshaker? Is it possible we would see an Earthshaker, Shadow Demon, Venomancer tri-lane, Morphling getting the farm in another lane, Invoker in the as their other solo?
10 seconds.
If you tri-lane, I'm very curious of what Orange are going to do with the lanes here. We could see dual lanes perhaps. Morphling, Earthshaker. Axe!
What? Okay.
By the way, they did...
Mind blown.
Did they pick it? I think... No, it was picked against them by World Elite. No, I was thinking CLG had picked this recently, but all the matches are blurring together in my mind. But no, World Elite picked this versus CLG. They ran an offensive quad lane. We're not going to see that from CLG. I can tell you that right now. But
I have seen exactly...
This is going to be played by pajkatt. Pajkatt is playing the sax. Oh my goodness.
All right, here we go. I'm really interested now because there's 2 things going on here. A, Orange have no really obvious lanes, unless they're just going to solo Venomancer, which is possible. Venomancer's a hero that can use a lot of farm. Now, I don't think they're going to run any kind of quad lane on bottom. So I'm pretty sure Veno's going to end up solo. They are sending a bunch of heroes bottom. So just to run down the heroes, we got KYXY and that Invoker. We have Winter rocking that Venomancer. Kiki is going to be playing that Morphling this time as the stand-in. Xtinct is going to be on that Earthshaker, and that's going to leave Ice for the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, big investment here into wards off the bat. Ice really wants to make sure they get these pulls off. Already has Observers and Sentries. Over on CLG side, Lacoste, Poor Man's Shield picked up, and a pair of Tangos. Or set of Tangos. He will be headed down to the bottom lane for the looks of things. Misery probably going to be soloing mid, playing that Queen of Pain. pajkatt on the Axe. And he spent all his... Did he buy the Courier? No, sorry, my math is a little fuzzy here. Akke, gonna be on that. Leshrac will be supporting along with Miracle, so we are gonna see that Sand King Leshrac double support combination. And here's why they're tri-laning. So they can really abuse these dire jungle pulls, pulling to the pull camp, pulling to the small camp, and then even doing additional pulls over to the other camps. This dire jungle is pretty obnoxious to deal with when you're on the Radiant side. So many ways to pull. The one way you can punish is by pushing. But Orange do not have a life to push early, so I like this laning arrangement from CLG. But man, this is all about Axe. Forget about anything else. Let's not even talk about anything else. What are they going to do with this Axe?
I have no idea. Axe is a hero that really... A lot of people don't like this hero. A lot of people think it's not a very competitively viable hero. I have seen it a couple of times in the past month or so. Where it had to great effect. In fact, of all the matches I've watched with Axe, I don't actually think I've seen Axe lose. I'm going to be honest, I think I've watched 3 of them. I think he's 3-0. We do see a Burrow Strike on Miracle here catching Winter out. Winter's going to take a bunch of damage. Miracle does have haste. He's going to get a bunch of harass. He's not going to chase too much far.
Is he? Oh,
nah.
He was really... Oh, bottom lane, Lacoste. Oh my goodness. Sentry Ward's placed down and the Observer Wards. This lane is over for him. He's going to have to go somewhere else because he cannot sit at that bottom lane. Maybe he'll hug the tower, hope for the wave to push. They're not even landing anybody top. They're just abandoning that So that's how they're going to deal with not having a strong offlane solo.
Well, I think Winter is considering going up there. I don't know what Winter's doing right now. He's kind of dancing around the trees. I don't know that he knows what he's doing, to
that
be honest.
Sand King put the fear of God in him, and he's just not. He
yeah, he's
want to
terrified.
I
guess he is going to go middle. I would expect Venomancer to go top, but I think he's going to wait for this lane to maybe get pushed.
KYXY, is he going to get picked off again? Battle Hunger to start. They're not going to kill him, but this is going to be a lot of harassment. Now, I will say, as far as Battle Hunger counters go, Quas is a pretty good way to deal with it. But this is the nuisance that X can be. Come out of the jungle, drop a Battle Hunger, and you just help out that middle lane a touch. And then go ahead and head back to the jungle. Continue farming.
Yeah, so they're actually going to use pajkatt and jungler here. I thought this would be a laning axe, but it looks like they are going to run axe up in the jungle and just have a duel up top with Miracle and Leshrac. So Leshrac is actually being played as a bit of a farmer here. I think Miracle and Akke are basically going to swap as much farm as they can get off of each other. Miracle only has 1. Akke's got 10. Okay, so never mind. Maybe they're just going to farm that Leshrac up. Leshrac, of course, can be played as a very strong carry. I mean, as the later games go. We see an initiation here in the middle, but KYXY getting a lot of harass on Misery. Misery taking a bunch of damage.
Oh, winner. He's going to be slowed down. Oh, the Battle Hunger. Take him down. One more right click should be enough with another Battle Hunger. Cooling down in 5 seconds. Meanwhile, top tower being pushed. Is pajkatt going to get a solo first blood? In comes Misery as well. Blinks in, screams. There's your first blood. And it's not a quad lane, but it kind of feels like one with 4 heroes all in this top quadrant of the map. And now they can push. You can't leave a lane empty against Leshrac.
On bottom, Lacoste does take a bunch of damage, but it looks like he is going to survive, so they don't even get anything on the other side.
He's quite miserable, but not as miserable as this Venomancer, who has 0 points of experience. 3 minutes into the game. Gale onto pajkatt, Battle Hunger going the other way, and already a 2-minute 50-second tower. CLG making this axe work big time, although to be totally honest, it is much more the Leshrac unopposed running rampant with that early 2 points of edict.
Well, actually, to be fair, pajkatt is kind of playing a very early style Night Stalker right now, because what he's doing is he's basically diving and charging in after people, and that's allowing his teammate Akke to just power down towers. So essentially, they're using Axe as kind of a level 2 Night Stalker, right? Like, that's essentially what they're doing, as kind of a level up Night Stalker just very quickly. And I think he's probably going to go for a gang here on middle on KYXY very quickly. Yep, he is going to go ahead and dive in here. Shadow Strike from Misery is going to slow him down. There's the Shadow Strike. KYXY does have Quas Wex. He can go in Biz. We're going to see a Battle Hunger just to harass. And I think they're probably just going to try and get as much damage as possible, I guess.
Can I just say that the CLG's decision-making as far as the lanes go and the initial early-game strategy is absolutely brilliant. Look at Orange's lineup. They don't have strong anti-push. They did have a strong off-lane hero. Even if Venomancer didn't die there and give up a first blood, he's not defending that push top. If he tries to, he's going to die anyway. They go for the early push off of the tri-lane. They do a pull to get a big creep wave. And with Leshrac picked up getting those early points of the edict, they just mow the tower down. And like you said, I love that analogy, just like a Night Stalker. A pushing hero who pushes not by damaging towers, but by bullying heroes off the lane. And for Orange, they do lose 1 tower. Now CLG are content to go back to their double pulling, get that Leshrac and Sand King farm. And are they really support heroes if they get this much farm? I'm not sure.
No, Leshrac is straight up a farmer at this point. Now, as the game progresses, I assume Akke's going to get a little bit less farm as the game goes. But pajkatt, now they've got that top tower, he can easily just walk back into the jungle, continue to get his farm up. I'm interested to see what kind of build he's going to go for. Oftentimes you'll see axes, in pub games rush a dagger, but a lot of the pro kind of level style axe, you often don't get a dagger. Oftentimes you just try and get all tanky and charge in there and just go haywire as a Night Stalker, not so much as an initiation to set up a combo.
To me, I feel like just getting cheap cost-effective items, like we already see the Urn, maybe a pair of arcane boots, a drum of endurance. They have a bounty hunter who's going to help everyone chase quite a bit. He doesn't really have to be that primary initiator because they have a Sand King who's level 3 boots picked up. Yeah, well, I'm curious to see too, but I don't think this is a game where you need a Blink Dagger. I'm with you there.
Miracle and pajkatt are going to find themselves an xtinct here, and xtinct is about to be just that, as we're going to see a Battle Hunger. They're going to be a Burrow Strike following that up, and is there any call? Yep, there is going to be a call. X going to be down in just about now, so he is going to die. Actually, there is going to die. pajkatt ends up picking up that kill. Now, Winter's going to come down and try and get a little bit of harass. We do have an invis from Miracle. KYXY comes up in the middle. Cold Snap plus Venomous Gale should do the trick. pajkatt goes ahead and calls KYXY. Burrow Strike from Miracle catches both of them. KYXY is going to go down. Misery jumps up there for the last hit on the Scream, and Winter is now the one having to run away, though there is no mana on Miracle for Burrow, so he's not going to be any danger, but fantastic team coordination there from CLG and a wonderful Burrow Strike.
Can I just say that Burrow Strike, absolutely, that's only a level 2 Burrow Strike, and he hits both. Winner's going to take a fall as well. Relentless aggression. And Orange just getting outmaneuvered in every corner.
That kill happened 100% because of Aki's quick arcane boots. He walked down there to Miracle, gave him the mana he needed to get that burrow strike off, which allowed the stun to happen, and they ended up picking another kill off of that. And I believe the tier 2 up top is going to be pressured pretty soon here.
I just want to say there were some people who were flaming myself and Luminous for overhyping Miracle's shackle shots to Windrunner, saying they weren't really that impressive. Not that I mind the flames, but let me just say, Burrow Strike, hitting these early 2-hero Burrow Strike is a bit of an art, and give him a lot of credit for that. They're going to pressure this top tier too. It survives for the moment. These Plague Wards, only level 2, really need those level 3, level 4 Plague Wards to be able to deal with it. And here's the problem, they're not doing anything bottom besides getting farm onto kyxy, who's leading the way, but only by 1 creep. Bounty Hunter is still getting some levels. In fact, a lot. Level 4 up on Lacoste. The early pressure top, it forces the tri-lane to back off, and we saw Lacoste was miserable, but now he's pretty content.
Yeah, so last game we saw, you know, CLG's Morphling get a lot of farm, and in exchange, Orange didn't really do anything. Orange was supposed to be getting kills in the other lanes. We're seeing CLG essentially do what Orange should have done the previous game. They're allowing Morphling to farm on bottom, but they've already got a tower up top. It looks like they're going to get another kill in the middle as kyxy is going to go down. Yes, he will die. So it's now 5-0 in CLG's favor. And these towers are going to go down pretty fast. That top tier 2 just doesn't have much longer. Another Edict and it's gone.
Right, no Edict for this middle tower, but it will take a bunch of damage. And Axe is a very strong pusher in another way as well. He can just tank the creep and mow it down quickly with a couple of counter helixes. Went for early boots, so nothing too revealing just yet. I am very curious about the item build. I like the fact that it's maxing Battle Hunger. I think it's the best pushing ability Axe has. Whereas if you go for more points of Berserker's Call and counter helix, it's more of a jungly build or a team fight build. And to me, that's not the way to play Axe. At least doesn't fit with their style. Oh, kyxy really gonna get caught out again. This is just not his day, Nebula. He might survive. No, I think he will.
Yeah, he is gonna survive. That scream of that. I think he expected that to kill him as well. Did he
bottom lane Lacoste, Soul Catcher as well as Disruption bursted down. That is a desperately needed kill. And here we see a Morphling going for a Lincoln Sphere from the looks of things.
Yeah, so completely opposite playstyles here as we see the Lincoln Sphere build first. It might not be a Lincoln Sphere. Sometimes you'll see Morphlings get that Perseverance first and then still transition into a shotgun. But the fact that he hasn't finished boots or anything.
That spell block is going to be almost completely useless up against Battle Hunger and Track and Shadow Strike. The chances of this blocking anything meaningful are almost zilch, so I'm not sure Lincoln Sphere is the correct choice from that perspective. We'll talk about it more later if we have a chance. Big dive onto ice. Not actually being initiated on. They don't really want to run into the tower, eat that Soul Catcher Disruption combination, but this is going to take him down. One more Battle Hunger, and no Track just yet, unfortunately. Ice trying to hide. We'll survive, and up top lane, we turn our attention here. Miracle taking a lot of damage from the tower. Burrow Strike available. Can Burrow Strike into the trees. Really bad time for him to die if he does do so, as he almost has his arcane boots. Burrow Strike's in the trees. Now he's trapped. Oh, this was not the correct choice, in fact, I feel. I thought he had a TP scroll. No, he won't actually get blocked in. He's able to walk out, so it works out for him. Bottom lane, Lacoste, the Predator, just waiting in anticipation, frothing at the mouth at the thought of ice.
Yeah, a lot of hiding going on here from both sides, right? The middle tier 1 did go down. Now on bottom, I feel like this is actually a bit of a blunder from CLG. I don't think they make mistakes very often, but I feel like this is one. They've rotated their Axe from pajkatt as well as that Misery Queen of Pain onto the bottom lane. They didn't really do anything with it. They tried to get that kill on SD, but ultimately they're just basically standing there as 3 heroes, and Morphling is still free farming. They're not denying him any farm. His damage is really high, so if they come near him, he can harass them a lot. So they kind of wasted a little bit of time there, I think, with their 2 best initiation heroes at this point.
Oh, dust on Lacoste, Disruption, Soul Catcher to follow. Will they have the burst damage? If he waves in, he's probably going to pay with his life, and kyxy is going to back off. Oh, the counter gank from CLG. We saw it last game, Nebula. We're seeing it again. Not the best wave for him. Oh, no. Doesn't quite get over the tree line, and now he probably will die. Too much burst damage, even for that full strength morph. He takes the spill. And the one hero who was having a good time has died. And, well, we didn't see this last game when CLG was running the Morphling. They're way behind, by the way. Even though it's, I don't feel like they're entirely out of it. They're down 4k gold. They're down almost 1,000 experience. This is a tough spot to be in right now.
That said, they do have a Morphling who is getting a decent amount of farm. He's leading the game in last hit right now at 53. He is definitely the best late game hero on this map. Though Gondar, no slouch himself, given enough farm. And Gondar hasn't really got a lot of farm early on. I mean, he's only got 16 last hits, but he's getting some amount of levels. And that track gold can really start to come into play as he is now level 6. Looks around the TP in from Kimi. immediately gets tracked. Doesn't want to have any shenanigans there. You can see another Battle Hunger on Winter. And
look at
pajkatt,
these supports. They just don't want to be visible because then they eat a Battle Hunger. Oh man, this is cruel and unusual punishment. Battle Hunger plus the track, and here we go. Lacoste tracks of X. Because then once you track them, you can keep on spamming Battle Hunger. You can't hide from it anymore. Oh man, I love this.
Yeah, and the problem is, because they're on bottom with Morphling, they really don't want to last it to try and deny that Battle Hunger. They kind of want to give the farm to Morphling, and pajkatt just straight up one Battle Hunger, and Winter has to go all the way back to base. This is ridiculous.
Oh no, he's caught out mid. He will go down. Can I just say I feel for this man right now?
He's not had a good day. He's sitting at 0-3 now in Invoker. This mid lane has not been kind to KY so far. I gotta say, if I was near him, I'd give him a pat, maybe a beer, because that's what this guy needs.
If I was him, I'd probably rage quit this game. Oh, just kidding.
No. The Nebula solution is just get a beer and feed harder. That's all I gotta do.
I was playing that one last night myself.
kyxy does have himself some treads, so we're gonna see Morphling get a little bit of farm here. Maybe they get this tier 1 tower on bottom. They do lose tier 2 up top, as that did go down almost instantly to that Diabolic Edict, as I said.
Where's the trade? Where is the trade for Orange right now? They're not getting anything. I guess Morphling's farming, but that's not worth all these towers dying.
No, and actually, if you look at the levels, Morphling's level 8. I mean, on CLG, 7-8, 7-8, 7, they're all that same level with him. And pajkatt, man, I really want to point this out because I feel like Axe is a little underplayed. I don't think he's like an insanely powerful hero that needs to be picked all the time, but I do think he has his uses, and this is kind of it. That really aggressive early on diving has just come into play big time, and now he can Battle Hunger these people, and they just have to run away. There's not a lot they can do about it. We've seen an initiation here on kyxy. kyxy isn't really going to die to this.
But middle lane, kyxy caught out again, goes down again. X, the next in line, will be forced to TP away. Burrow strike cooling down, will not be in time. Oh boy. This is
Stop me if you've heard it before, but kyxy not having a good game.
This is one of those times where if someone wants to put together a clip of the cast, have you seen? Oh, okay. For StarCraft 2, have you seen the one? Oh no, Shadow Demon takes the fall. Where JP is casting with Day 9, and it's like, well, Sean, and then he says like this name like 5,000 times. Anyway, kyxy gonna take a spill on the bottom lane. Wave hits on everybody, doing some decent damage. But this track Battle Hunger combo, it is far too powerful. Morphling dies as well. But yeah, the highlights of this game, it is kyxy dying again. And it's not really his fault either. In game 1, I would say he was out of position a lot. This game, it's much more CLG just having a great lineup to chase and pick him off, and Orange not having the heroes to help him out.
Man, this is a wonderful lineup. I felt like the most vulnerable time for CLG passed almost instantly. The laning phase, you mentioned their lanes were very strong. I agree. I mean, CLG has just played this wonderfully. The execution of the strategy is really great to see. And the Axe, the last time I saw Axe was solo mid. I believe it was played by, man, I can't remember the team right now. But they ran it in middle, and it completely dominated. It went godlike. The game was over in 8 minutes or something like that. They just ended up pushing the mid tower, and the GG was thrown down. But CLG have done a much more, I feel, safe way to play Axe. It's been very aggressive, but it's been a lot more sure to succeed. There wasn't near as much like, oh, well, he needs to win mid lane to make this work. They've basically made it to where he can't fail. I mean, what is Venomancer going to do? Kill him?
Well, part of it also comes down to the way Orange drafted, right? Because they did not pick a strong solo top hero. They didn't have anything to deal with that push. I mean, oh, top lane. Venomancer goes down again. Misery, wicked sick indeed. Boots of Travel picked up. And if it wasn't pressure already, it's going to be relentless now. The pause coming out right as Lacoste and two buddies out for the Morphling blood. It's not blood. Out for some water. They want to drink from the well here. They're gonna find it.
Never mind, GG. I says. I agree. This was almost a tactical pause. You throw down a pause, frustrate your opponents, and they just say GG. So there are the GGs in that 15 minutes. I have now, the last two Axe games I have watched have ended at 12 minutes and 15 minutes respectively. So
that was the Zenith X as well as the CLG one, so it seems to be working.
So what we can deduce is that Axe is actually the most broken hero in Dota, and everybody should be picking him the game immediately.
He does have a place in this aggressive early pressure style. It's a hero that just does so much damage and really prevents you from playing your normal style of laning. You can't just stand there and drop down wards of your Venomancer at the tower. You can't just position yourself behind Morphling to disrupt him if he gets into trouble with Shadow Demon, because if you do, the battle hunger finds you, you lose half your health instantly. So I don't think there's another hero that does it quite as well. It's a very specific niche that he's filling, but
yeah,
nonetheless,
but it's a strong one, man.
They made it work beautifully, in fact.
Yeah. So that's the GG. I don't know what the stipulations are for the cast here. If we got to get to the in-game screen or what, but
Bruno
all
will
of
have
the
my
players
head if I don't. But you
will-
can feel free to grab a drink or something like that. We will have another best out of 3 coming up. Not sure if you're going to be awake for that one. I think it's in an hour and 20 minutes. But
We shall see.
We
If
will
not,
see.
The Chinaman may be here. I'm not sure. Either way, yeah, go ahead and take us out of here.
Nebula, can I just say, man, it's a real pleasure casting with you. We should really do this more often. I say that, and we probably won't because you're working the night shift, and
Not a whole lot of casting going
Alright.
on in Nebula's world right now.
but I had a blast, man, and I hope the viewers did too. It was a quick game, guys, but hey, CLG make it entertaining. I am LD, of course. He is Nebula. I would tell you to go follow him, but he doesn't really use his Facebook or any of his websites, to be totally honest.
Calm down, calm down. You can check me out on Facebook, Nebula1A. I got a Twitter, DC Nebula1A. I don't use either of them, but I like the numbers. I like the numbers.
He does have some good numbers. Alright, of course, I'm LD of dotacommentaries.com. This was CLG versus Orange for the Pro Dota 2 Pro Dota 2 Worldwide League Playoffs. Is best out of 3. CLG take it. They move on in the playoffs. Orange, I believe they're knocked out. I believe it's single elimination. But go to prodota2.com. You can find all your details as far as the playoff format and schedule and things like that go. We do have another best of 3 coming up for y'all a little bit later today, and I'm actually going to throw up my waiting screen so I can see what that one is. That match will be Infuse versus Zenith, happening at 18 CST. That's going to wrap it up for now, guys, but we'll be coming back in about an hour, 20 minutes time with Infuse versus Zenith, so if you want to check that out, stay tuned for that. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all on the other side.